Nick some noise. It's your man Wild Me. Welcome back to another episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. On the backs of Jalen Brunson and fourth quarter campaign, the Knicks take the first game of the 2025 first round of the playoffs from the Detroit Pistons, 123-112. Shout out to the squad for an amazing victory, an amazing fourth quarter. I mean, the Garden was rocking. My crib was rocking. I'm sure every bar in New York City and every Knicks fan's bar was rocking. Shout out to the Detroit Pistons for blowing that. Malik, you got to humble yourself. But you played a good game, but you got to humble yourself because or we'll do it for you. Make some noise. It's your man, Wild Me. Listen, man. 34 points from Jalen Brunson. It was gritty. He's had to take 27 shots, which I really don't like. I wanted Jalen to come off the basketball a little bit more this game. Maybe 20 shots or so. There were a couple unnecessary shots where, I'm looking for him to pass that rock. But at the same time, the squad held it down. We were able to withstand the runs, the deficit. Fourth quarter was magical. We locked up. We forced them into so many critical turnovers and unnecessary turnovers on their part that they pretty much fell apart. The team on the other end, who was super confident for the first three quarters, the man shimmying and doing all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? We were able to silence that. He had to pull his squad together because they more or less fell apart. And we were able to do that by playing intense defense. I think the defense that Tibbs puts forward with Mitchell Robinson, he collapses every pick and roll on the other side. Like, they're not able to establish that roll guy because Mitchell is there. He's deflecting passes. He's getting in the passing lane. Shooter tried to throw a cross-court pass over his head, and he snatched it out the air. Like, that's crazy. He defends the three-point line as well as any big man. He only has like one Achilles heel, which is Kristaps Porzingis. And effectively, he shuts everyone down at the perimeter when he's up there. Critically enough, or importantly enough, like Mitchell Robinson wasn't here, the first half of the season, more or less. Imagine with his defensive presence, the first half of the season. We're like a 60 win team, 58 wins at least. So with that being said, man, I love to see him out there locking down the paint, offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, making it almost impossible for Isaiah Stewart to establish himself, Jalen Duren to establish themselves. Towns played a great game. He was 10 of 14 from the field. Like that, he had an amazing game. He hit a critical three in the second half, and that was actually able to build that run with campaign. He was demanding the basketball, and he actually did something with it. No offensive fouls. He went to the basket. They wanted to put smaller players on him. He took advantage of every matchup, and he was very efficient. 39 minutes, 10 of 14 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line, 2 of 2 from the foul line. He had an amazing game. 11 rebounds, 5 dimes, 4 steals, 2 blocks. You know what I'm saying? And he only had 3 fouls. So shout out to Towns. He played an amazing game. Mikal Bridges also played a great game, 4-9 from the field. He had 8 points. He got a little bit used on defense, but that's because they seek him out. It's almost like where he's, the fall guy on defense. Malik Beasley's flopping, tripping himself, but at the same time, Mikal Bridges played a solid game. So let's look at the stat line for Jalen Brunson. 40 minutes, 12 of 27. He rolled his ankle, but even on that play where Jalen Brunson rolled his ankle, Josh Hart was able to hit that three. And that kind of kept us in the game. And we went into the fourth quarter not down like 11 or 12. We went into the fourth quarter down 8. So with that possession, with Jalen Brunson kind of tweaked his ankle and had to get back into rhythm by like 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, we were able to just completely shut the Detroit Pistons out of the game. So the last 8 minutes of the game belonged to the Knicks. We blew them out in the fourth quarter, 40-21. 40-21. We blew them out by 19 points in the fourth quarter. That was amazing. Just on in terms of the you know the sheer will that we possess. And we just put it down, man. Shout out to the squad, yo. Shout out to all the fans and everybody that was out there in Bryant Park. That looked amazing. I'm just chilling, man. I'm out here in the Carolinas, but it's Knicks some noise all day, and it's New York all day. I'll be in the city, so don't even try me. But at the end of the day, man, we had a good game. OG Anunoby, 44 minutes. He played an amazing game, start to finish, and playing against and having to defend Cade Cunningham, and still playing 44 minutes, giving us 23 points. He is a plus 10. A plus 10. 4-4 from the free throw line, 3 of 8 from 3, 8 of 18 from the field in total. He had 3 offensive rebounds, 11 total. No, excuse me, 3 offensive rebounds, 7 total rebounds, 4 defensively, 5 steals, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, and 3 fouls. So his whole stat line is filled up in terms of just great play. I would like to see Mikal Bridges take another leap, not a leap, but like another level in terms of offense. He's not to me. A lot of people say he was our X factor, but the level of physicality for him is a little bit uneven. They, like I said, they seek him out defensively. They like to go at him defensively because he's the slightest player on our side. And he doesn't necessarily take charge as well. I think if they go at him defensively, he need to fall out 1 or 2 times. You know what I'm saying? Get him up off you. They run into you. Do your best Jalen Brunson impression, bro. Do your best campaign impression. Somebody, you could take a charge, and then that'll soften them up in terms of trying to go at you every time. That's just my personal opinion. But with that said, Mikal Bridges definitely held it down. He had his 8 points, and they were, necessarily points that helped us with and continue our runs. And that fourth quarter elbow jumper when he came in for campaign, that just pretty much cemented what we were doing in the fourth quarter. And I'm looking for Deuce to have a better game too. I'm looking for Deuce to hit the rim, but he had a great defensive sequence where he stopped Dennis Schroeder and dove for the basketball. So listen, man, it was a total team win, total team effort. Campaign 5 of 7, 3 of 5 from 3, a plus 23 on the stat line. I know y'all plus minus guys out there like that. Y'all was talking a lot of trash about my man Campaign, but he's going to continue to be aggressive. And Tibbs believes in that. That's just a testament of Tom Thibodeau being the type of coach that doesn't hold players back and doesn't stifle them and run them into the ground. Like, you need to be in rhythm to be able to take and have the confidence to take and make those shots. Like, if you're a player like Campaign who doesn't, first of all, you may or may not play, or you're gonna play, but you're not gonna play the minutes in terms that you might think it take. But listen, bro, you get 15 minutes to make an impact. And if you can get 14 points in 15 minutes, like, your points to minutes ratio is crazy. And so him being able to do that gave us the spark that we needed at the time that we needed it, because we were in the water almost up to our neck. We were sinking. And his intensity and his confidence brought us back. And very much so won the game for us. It stole the game from them. They didn't account for his points. And they didn't account for their ability to turn the ball over and, lose the game and collapse. One of the top teams in turnovers, and we forced them into their worst aspect and their worst attribute. So shout out to the squad, man. 123, 112. It's your man, Why Me. I'm at the crib. Knicks some noise. We represented. We did what we had to do. Game 1. Solid game. All the way around, man. The Detroit Pistons, they came out very physical. 20 points from Malik Beasley, 25 from Harris. And that's the lopsidedness, if you will. You're not necessarily looking for Tobias to have 25. They're not necessarily looking for Beasley to have 20 all the time. Like, I mean, yeah, they want it, but they want Cade to get off. You know, they want Thompson to get off. But if you look at this team, you got Cade, you got Asor Thompson, and everybody else essentially role players and vets. There's no reason why we should be out muscled by this team, you know. But at the same time, we have the physical endurance to play our main guys 44 minutes, just like OG Anunoby. He can play 44 minutes of total offense and defense. Like that's where we're going to excel. Towns can play 40 minutes worth of offense and defense. We're conditioned to do these things. And this is where other teams aren't. Bickerstaff is going to have to shorten up the rotation. I mean, yeah, you played all these guys when we playing in a regular season, but you got to go with your main guys. And are your main guys conditioned like our main guys are conditioned to play in the fourth quarter? OG Anunoby is playing lockdown defense for 44 minutes. Are your guys conditioned to go at a guy 44 minutes? No. And this is where we're going to have to set ourselves apart in the playoffs. We got Boston in the next series. If we win this series, we got Boston in the next series. It'd be nice to be able to rest for Boston. We want to see what type of test that Orlando was able to give them, you know, because that's going to be the next matchup based on us getting through Detroit. And if we get through Detroit, not chipped up, Jalen Brunson not tweaking his ankle, we're going to have to find some minutes to steal for Brunson so he can rest during this series as well, because we can't afford him tweaking his ankle every game. That's not going to work. So he has to be able to be a little bit more solid and, you know, rest and come off the ball some. And then with that, he can rest on certain plays, but we can't miss shots and turn the ball over if he's passing the ball, because then if we do that, then he's going to come, you know, future possessions and take over like he's supposed to. So we got to help him out. Make some noise. It's your man, Why Me. We out. I'm just here, man, providing the vibes, man. Shout out to the squad, Knicks Fan TV, and everybody out there in Knicks Nation. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here doing what I got to do. I ain't do a video since Jalen Brunson got hurt. Not because he got hurt, but my schedule and everything like that kind of prevents me from being in front of the camera all the time. But I just wanted to bring the vibes here for y'all. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to Knicks family. 123-112 is game one. We're not going to get too high. We're not going to get too low. We're going to stay even. And we're going to do what we got to do game two in the Garden on Monday. Now, keys to the game, Jalen Brunson getting a better start so he could sit towards the end of the game. Towns, he's fully active and locked in, a willing participant to shoot the ball. So we got to get Towns some good baskets at the beginning of the game. OG Anunoby stay solid, and maybe he could take us home toward the end. I like to see Anunoby playing 44, 45 minutes this series, but we really need him for the later rounds in the playoffs. So the bench has to find a way to match that level of physicality. And the bench not meaning Mitchell Robinson, but like Shamet, Payne, they got to come in. Achua is going to have to spell Anunoby. Hopefully in game two, if we get a big enough lead, Achua can give Anunoby like 5 or 6 minutes rest, per half, and then come in there and make an impact as well. We'll see. Right now, though, Tibbs, y'all always talking Tibbs is going to go 7 and 6 and all this, that, and the third. We played how many players? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We played 9 players. So we had a 9-man rotation. Landry Shamet got 10 minutes, and everybody coming off the bench got at least 15 minutes. Mitchell Robinson got 18 minutes. Cam Payne and Miles McBride got 15 minutes. So Tibbs is going, and the rotation is good money. A 9-man rotation. And like I said, Achua might get into the act. So that might make it 10 if we're able to stretch and get leads. We need leads. We don't need to play from behind. If we play from behind, we're going to be playing with 9 or 8 players if we have to play from behind. So a lead will allow us to go 10, and we might even get an 11 man in the game. And it's not going to be necessarily when the game is on the line, but it could be toward the end of the game. The last 2 minutes of the game, we can get Kolek in, somebody like that. Spell Brunson. Go on to the next game. We got Detroit. We'll see what the dichotomy is, let's say, between the fan base, because they were trying to keep us out of there. But, shout out to everybody traveling to Michigan to watch the game. Let's take care of business out there too. Do what we got to do. This is a four a 4-win series, hopefully courtesy of the Knicks in 6. No less than that. We got to be able to match intensity in the next round. Boston and Orlando is today, so let's see if Orlando can give them a test out there, and let's see if they can, do what they got to do, handle some type of business, not make it a cakewalk. We'll see. Ben Carroll, do your thing. Go for 50, bro. If your team is lacking, man, go for 50, man. I love to see it. Mikal Bridges, like I said, match some more physicality. He played 30 minutes, but I want to see you put your elbow in one of those cats' back when they trying to post you up and this down the third. OG, like I said, dogging it. DOG. Shout out to all the people out there repping the OG nation. I got OG on the other side, but this is the original OG Anunoby right here. It's the original OG, man. Mace. You know what I'm saying? OG Anunoby on the other side. But at the end of the day, man, we did what we had to do, man. Nick some noise. This shit, man. Why me? I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. I will be back for game 2. I might give y'all a couple tidbits on what we do and how we do and what the next course of action is going to be, if you will, for the next game, man. Nick some noise. This shit, man. Why me? You know what I mean? I'm about to sit back, relax, enjoy my Sunday. Happy Easter to everybody out there. We out.